I'm probably not qualified enough to make this video, but I was going through old footage and forgot that I've recorded my second attempt at a proper protein treatment ever. I'll put the materials I used on the screen so that you guys can read it easily. I'm not even going to lie to you guys, I was so nervous to use this protein treatment. I know I needed this because my hair kept snapping whenever I would detangle it, and it really just fell off, if that makes any sense. I put it off because I was terrified of causing protein overload by mistake. I used the ApHogee Protein Treatment step 1 and 2. It is very important that you use both steps because step 2 helps to neutralize step 1 and makes your hair feel soft, because this protein treatment is extreme and will make your hair feel stiff. Out of all the tutorials that I was looking at, the Hair by Miss Magic one on YouTube was by far the best one because she was clear and concise and low-key made me feel better about doing this by myself in a strange way. Now for me personally, I feel better doing my hair when there is something on my shoulders to catch any dripping. If you know, you know. It is extremely sticky and it has a very distinct smell. I got a disposable shoulder cape for this specifically so that it wasn't a hassle to clean my cape afterwards like I normally would. And for the same reason, I also chose to wear gloves because this was a sensory nightmare to say the least, but it is definitely not required. After contemplating my life choices at the moment, I carried on with the protein treatment. If you don't have the actual bottle, I believe I used 2 packets for my whole head, but it depends on how much hair you have and how thick it is. I also chose to use a bottle with a concentrated nozzle to distribute the product because it's a liquidy consistency that's hard to distribute evenly. I have tried a spray bottle like others recommended, but personally, using the oil bottle was better for me. I shook the bottle so it would look kind of foamy and thick, and I believe I shook it for about a minute or so. I then sectioned my freshly washed hair into 4 sections and made smaller sections so that I can make sure the product is evenly distributed, which is very important. Another thing to remember is that time is of the essence when using this. If you keep it in for too long, you're at risk of accidentally giving yourself protein overload, as I mentioned before. After putting the product on my hair, I smoothed it out with my fingers as much as I could. Then I used a wide tooth comb to distribute more. I repeated these steps until my whole head was completely covered. The next step is to use heat to open the cuticle and get better results. The bottle says to use a hooded dryer, but I didn't have one, so I borrowed my sister's dryer that has a diffuser attachment. Now, what I'm about to say is probably the most important thing I will say in this whole video. Do not, and I repeat, do not comb or even touch your hair after it dries. Your hair will be very stiff when it dries, and it is supposed to feel this way, so don't be alarmed. As you can see, I was struggling with how sticky this was, but it was necessary, so I was able to calm my brain just for a second. If you have a show or something to watch or listen to, this is the time to watch it because I used to dry it for about 15 minutes. Since I used a blow dryer with a diffuser, the heat is not too intense and it could distribute across my whole head properly. If you're also using this method, please make sure you're also consistently moving the blow dryer around so that it's not on just one part of your head for too long. Unfortunately, I didn't film the second step, but after you're done with the heat, you're going to rinse the protein out with warm water. Make sure to be very thorough when you rinse it out. The second to last step is to use a balancing moisturizer to add softness back into your hair. After you have this in for about 2 to 3 minutes, your hair should be softer. However, this is a little too surface level moisturizing for me, so I ended up using a deep conditioner to really add even more moisture. Now you completed your protein treatment. See, it wasn't that scary. See you in the next video. Bye.